Welcome to What's Your I Can Conversations, the podcast that brings the pages of What's Your I Can, realize your I can in perfect purpose, business, and family to life. I am your host, Christy Angeli, and I'm thrilled to have you on board as we dive into thought-provoking discussions with inspiring individuals from diverse fields. Together, we'll explore how these remarkable thought leaders apply the principles from the book to turn their I can aspirations into reality, shaking up the status quo. Today, I am excited to introduce to you my guest or our guest, the incredible Emily Patricia Fae. Let's get started. Miss Emily, thank you so much for being a part of this community and empowering other, single moms and parents in general to realize their I can and purpose, business, and family. Would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. So I am Emily Patricia Fae. I am in the UK and I'm a mum. I have three lovely daughters who are all neurodivergent, and I myself am autistic and ADHD. I am a KonMari consultant and a feng shui specialist and an energetic home healer. So I use my holistic approach. I bring all of those elements together and I support people to create environments in their homes that are supportive of them, that nurture them, that allow them to be the best version of themselves that they can be. So I've been on quite a long and complex healing journey myself. And as part of that, near the end of not the end of my healing journey, our healing journey never ends, right? But near the end of that, I discovered Marie Kondo and I started physically working with my space. I'd already been energetically working with my space, but I started really getting in touch with it physically, decluttering, and also I started studying feng shui as well. And what I found was that for me, it was the missing link in my healing journey. It was the bit that brought everything together, creating a physical space that allowed me to do the inner work and use the tools and strategies I'd learned to bring me from rock bottom back to where I was and finding out who I am. I could fully step into that by creating a space that really supported and nurtured me, and not only me, but my daughters as well, and creating calm and balance within our family that enabled us to be able to really step into our strengths and navigate our challenges in the best way possible. So now I love to share that with other people. That's my passion. Is I want everyone to have this opportunity. I want everyone to conquer their homes and create these spaces that are really working with them instead of against them, and make the changes that are pretty simple when you break it down, but actually can have huge impact. So yeah.
Awesome.
So I didn't know if you wanted me to keep going.
No. I absolutely love it. I absolutely admire your passion, your strength, your resiliency, and that how you are able to not, want to hoard it for yourself, but to share it. They're just like having something good that you want other people to know about. You don't want to really keep it. You're not, you don't want to be selfish about good news, right? And I feel like you have some good news, some amazing news. And as I was sharing earlier, like right before the show, how I have people that are in this space. I have family and friends who are having to raise special, they call it special needs children. I would say children that learns differently, right? They are unique in their own way, and God created them just that way. And it's nothing to frown upon, but learning how to embrace. A lot of people haven't learned how to embrace that. And it seems that you have learned how to embrace your special gift as being a mom, as being, one that learns differently, as, having to, I would say adapt to with your surroundings. And so you talked about your home and various disciplines to enhance well-being. Could you share a specific example of how your unique combination of skills as a KonMari consultant, energetic home healer, and feng shui specialist has transformed someone's life or space?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've worked with a number of different people who have so one family in particular where her daughter was really struggling. So she suspects that she has a neurodivergence, but they haven't had any sort of diagnosis at the moment. But she'd been really struggling with sleep. They were struggling with any kind of energy. Any sort of she was very explosive, her daughter, and they were just really struggling in general to kind of get through the day, to get through the nights, which were long for them, and all of that. So I came in and I worked with them. Not only we went through and physically decluttered the home, so we made the home a space that wasn't because visual clutter can overload our minds. So that's one reason that getting rid of the clutter really helps. But also from an energy point of view, the energy can't flow around your home. It can't move. Clutter creates stagnant energy that just sits there and stagnates, basically. So when you get rid of that clutter and you create flow within the home, you start to create harmony as well. You start to create balance. So we started with the physical decluttering, and then we worked on the energetic side, and I worked with the energies of her home and the energies of her and her daughter, and how they getting those to work in harmony again with each other, because sometimes our energies and our home's energies are at they're disconnected and they're not flowing in the right way with each other. So I was able to help them with that and clear some energies that were hanging around that just weren't great, because when you've been through traumas or you've been through difficult, challenging times, our homes hold on to that, and we can attract energies into our homes as well that are not nurturing and not supportive for us, and sometimes those need removing, which is really easy to do, and we can get rid of those. So we worked on a lot of that stuff, and we moved some things around in terms of in feng shui, sometimes just moving furniture to face a different direction, or in fact, sometimes moving rooms to another side of the house where the energy is more conducive to sleep, for example. So we really worked on her daughter's bedroom. We moved it around so that for her personally, her daughter, for her energies, she was facing in the best directions for her to get the best night's sleep. And we made it a calm space and everything. And the impact was huge. Her daughter started sleeping better, which then meant that they all had more energy. They were able to have, much more connection with each other. And they were able to use the space in the way they wanted to. They had rooms that they couldn't even use, that were just dumping grounds, that they just, those rooms and those cupboards where you shovel the stuff and you don't. So suddenly they had all this space, and they were able to, her daughter was able to use her toys in a more effective way. Which meant that she was less frustrated. She was able to be creative, and we created space for her to do that, and to display her creative work as well in a way that wasn't overwhelming for everybody. And they've gone on, and they're doing fantastic now, and really happy. So that's a really I included quite a lot of examples in there, but sleep is a fabulous thing that I help a lot of people with, because making changes in your bedroom and things can have such huge impacts. That balance and harmony within the home, and getting rid of that clutter. When we address the clutter within our homes, we just open up so much potential. We don't realize how hanging on to a lot of items, we can be really, really holding ourselves back. I had another client who was really struggling to move forward. She'd moved into a new home, and she was like, I should be really loving this. I should be really, this is like my dream home. Why am I not connecting with it? Why am I not moving on? And when we went through her items, she was holding on to so many things from her. She'd had 2 previous marriages that had broken down, and she was still holding on to so many items from those, and from previous homes and things, that where we, very gently went through the process of letting go of those items. And she suddenly was able to really connect with her home and this next stage of her life, and really step into that. So those physical items can be really holding on to energy and making us really hold on to those connections, and not letting us step into the next stage of our lives, which is what we're trying to do. We're sort of, stepping and being pulled back at the same time. And I know that a lot of people will probably be able to relate to that feeling of, but I'm ready to take this step. Why can I not do it? And sometimes it's because, we haven't let go of things properly to allow us to.
You have spoken a word. You have spoken such direction. I was hearing reposition and relocation when you had to switch the child's bed around. We have to relocate sometimes things in our homes, things within ourselves, reposition ourselves for what we are ready, what we are wanting to receive. You have to
Yes.
let go of things in order to step into something new and get the
Mm-hmm.
benefits of the newness. And you cannot get the benefits of the newness if you're holding on to things in the old. Man, she just spoke a lot. I hope you all are getting the gems, the nuggets, the wisdom, literally, in this. And she talks about, and I want to say this about understanding what's in your home, understanding the energies that's in your home. I call it, demonic influences, understanding, how to go into your home and take authority over your home. How to go into your home, and I use some anointing oil. I use, I pray over my home. I pray over my walls, because these inanimate things have ears.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around us have ears. They hear, and whatever we speak, whatever we declare, that's what's going to manifest. And if you're feeling some type of way, uneasy, frustrated, angry for some reason, think about the previous owners that had this home that you're in. If it's not a newly built home, or even if it is a newly built home, those that have been building your home and the things that they were speaking while building your home, and now it's embedded in the walls of your home, and you're feeling crazy. You're feeling as if I'm stuck, or I'm restless, or there's a fear because something has been spoken in your home and it's lingering there. And you have the rights, you have the authority, you have the power to go in your home and do a clean sweep.
Mm-hmm.
She said a lot. You said a lot. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here.
I love that. I love that. I do that work a lot, because in feng shui we talk about the walls being the ears of your home, and they absorb everything. And so you need to clear that out regularly. You get, and particularly when you move into a home, or even, as you say, when a home is built, because you don't want to be holding on to other people's energies. Your own stuff's enough, right? You don't want everyone else's stuff.
Time for anybody else, especially if you are a single mom and then you're having to deal with or care for or have the challenges of being a single mom. Okay. And then you're in this world of, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. So now you're having to manage, and then you have your own personal development you are having to take. So that's a lot. And then bringing somebody else, craziness into your space. You got to set up boundaries. And what you are saying, you're creating boundaries. This is a strategic move, you guys. This is what What's Your I Can is all about. Realizing your I can in your home, that's your family, in your business, in your purpose, understanding how to put those boundaries in place, bounce back from trauma, because she talked about, things that may be happening in your life and you're bringing it into your home. That's why they say don't bring outside work into your home. Leave that stuff at the door. Leave it checked. Don't bring things from other people and it destroys your environment. If you've already set your atmosphere to be an atmosphere of peace, joy, and righteousness, or love and happiness, then don't allow other things to come into your home and to destroy that. You got to check yourself. Ooh, yes. If I'm sitting on the floor, but I want to jump up. You
I
are
love
giving
it.
all of it. You're giving us all the things because there are women who don't know how to. One, you talk about organizing your space and decluttering. This is a lot in this first question, right? This is a lot we can really unpack because if you don't understand how decluttering, not just a outward declutter, but an inward declutter as well.
Mm.
If you don't understand how that will help you to become the person that you see yourself being on a greater level, then you will forever be lowballing. You'll forever be playing at your lowest self, and you'll forever be feeling as if the weight of the world is on your shoulder. But once you start moving things around and putting them in the right place, in the right space, my mom says that everything needs a home. She don't like clutter. She don't like stuff out of place. Everything needs a home. Put things in its proper place. Okay. And therefore you begin to feel better about yourself, better about your space. Your children will be able to come in and be like, oh, wow, mommy, look at what you did. I love it. They will feel the atmosphere change. They will feel like they belong there and they want to sit in that space that you have created for them. So organizing, decluttering, letting go, repositioning, relocating, just doing a clean sweep in your surroundings. And then not only that, you will have the authority and the power to do a clean sweep when you go outside of your home, because now you got your home in order and yourself together. You'll know how to create the space for other people to come inside your space, not even your home, but when you out, and they will be able to enjoy this blossoming person. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. And I love that because when you go round and you do that decluttering and things, you actually will find that it's quite a cathartic process in the sense of actually that it allows you to start letting go of some of those limiting beliefs as well, because you can create that space. You can, take that next step. You can let go of things that have been holding you back. And as you do that physically, you will then begin to do it inwardly as well, which means that you will shed those layers, those skins that are, keeping you small and keeping you stuck, and you'll be able to really step into what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a full surface. It's like looking at yourself in a mirror, because a lot of times we are cluttered inwardly and it manifests outwardly.
Yeah.
And you're wondering why those pile of clothes are still on the bed. You're wondering why those dishes are still in the sink. You're wondering, because you have all of that. You're not organized. You haven't compartmentalized yourself, your emotions, your mental well-being, and all of these things that's going on. So it's only manifesting itself, right? So you
Yeah.
spoke about neurodivergent
Yes.
as well. In your mission to support neurodivergent individuals and their families, what insights have you gained about the profound impact that our physical environments can have on mental and spiritual well-being? This is a good segue into that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, so just from a sensory point of view, I mentioned before about visual clutter. So the sensory overload that we have on a daily basis, just going about in our day, is huge. I mean, my mission is starting on people's homes, but I will get to all the public spaces as well, because oh my god. But in our homes, we have the power to create spaces that have the minimal impact on us in that way. So in terms of the visual clutter, like, that's why I know there's like, you know, I'm not for making Instagram worthy homes unless that's what you want, you know, the beautiful, because it's about being real and what people actually need in their homes. But I do talk to people about decanting stuff into jars and having labels and things, because all the visual clutter in your cupboards of all of these different packets and all the information on them, you just don't need that. You know, if you can open up your cupboard and you can just clearly, it's plain, it's simple, you can just see what you've got, see what's there. It's creating those kind of things, because for those of us with neurodivergence, we get overwhelmed very easily. We take in every tiny detail. So if there's something in front of us, we will have taken in everything. We'll have absorbed everything on it. So we wear ourselves out very quickly. So particularly with children, we don't realize that they're taking all these things in when they're having that meltdown on the floor. It might be because they've just taken in too much information from their surroundings. So if we can lessen that, if we can minimize that, then that really has a big impact. And it's also about creating spaces in the home where you can go to decompress, because often when you're neurodivergent, as I say, you get overwhelmed. It's not just visual. Obviously, we get overwhelmed by sounds, we get overwhelmed by touch, by all sorts of different things. So it's really important that we have spaces within our homes where we feel like we can go and we can decompress it. Maybe for some people, they need spaces that are dark, where they can just go and be really quiet and alone. Other people need, you know, with some neurodivergent children, you need to bring a trampoline in or something so they can just go and bounce, or a swing. People have swings inside their homes so that they can just get that energy out. It depends whether you're a sensory seeker or a sensory avoider. But what I found is that by just making tweaks to people's homes where they can really make them work for their neurodivergence, for whether they're, you know, if they're a sensory seeker and they want bright colors everywhere, they don't want white everywhere. They need those bright colors. They need that visual. That's what they're searching for. They need those dopamine hits. Then let's create that for them. I'm not going to come in and go, no, but you know, neutral colors are the best way, because it's about working with the knowledge that I have in terms of the best feng shui and the best colors from those points of views, but also understanding that when you're neurodivergent, you might need something slightly different. It's about taking the rule book of everything, which absolutely makes sense, but going, okay, but how does this make sense for you? How can we pick out the different bits, weave them together, you know, throw the rule book out on some bits, but follow it for other bits that is going to uniquely work for you? Because I'm never going to say to someone, right, here's the method, go and do this, and you're going to have the home that works for you, because no, we're all different. And although I follow the KonMari method, which I relate to because it helps break things down, because when you're neurodivergent, having, you know, little bits that, you know, we're not gonna do a whole day working on something. We need little bits, little tasks that we can pick at, and we can swap and change to new things to keep that dopamine going. But so the method works really well for that, but I'm not going to follow it strictly if that's not right for my client, because some people like that. You know, a lot of my autistic clients, that they like to follow a method. They like to. ADHD, no, they're not going to follow any rules. They're going to want to be going here. They're going to want to be going there. And I work with that, because the point is it's about making the spaces that work for you, and the strategies that work for you, and the tools that work for you. So, okay, here are a whole load of tools and strategies, but let's pick out the ones that are going to work for you. Let's make a toolbox that's uniquely yours and put all the different things in. And if there's bits that, you know, I'll advise you, and if you go, no, I don't feel like that's going to work for me, great, we'll put that to one side. We'll try something else that does work for you. And I think that's why I get quite good results with the neurodivergent people that I work with, because I'm allowing them to be them, but I'm not putting any restrictions on them. Although I'm neurodivergent, I don't profess to know everything there is to know about it, or I'm not going to say to someone else, I know what you need, because we're all uniquely different. So it's about having that compassion and that understanding and listening, and really, you know, you were talking about when people are thinking about their I can, everyone's dreams and their visions are slightly different. And so again, you know, there's no one path to anything. You know, we can get to the same destination going in different journeys. And so we've got to do that with our journey through our homes. You know, that's why when someone moves into a house, they make loads of changes, and you should make changes. You've got to make it the space that works for you, not just, you know, these carbon copies of each other, these homes, you know. And that's where you know, I say to people like, gosh, you know, I don't use my home traditionally how you would use a home. You know, I don't use spaces traditionally. I'm not going to say this is the dining room, because that's what it's labeled on the floor plan, you know. No, if that's the best room for you to sleep in, maybe then you sleep in it. If it's the best room for you to have as your office, you have it as your office. Create it the way that it works for you. Don't be restricted by what people tell you or what you see on, you know, on all these programs that, you know, tell you that this is what the perfect home looks like. No, the perfect home is the home that is working for you, and that will look different for everybody.
Again, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this conversation. You are unpacking so much, because I was looking at neurodivergent on a greater scheme as well as business owners, and what everyone is telling you how you should, you know, do the funnel clicks this way, or do this marketing. You see what I'm saying? How we can take that word and look at it on so many levels, to where you have to do what works for you. You know your touch, you know the touch of your audience, you know the touch of, you know, and you have to make it fit what you are, your space, instead of taking on everyone else's, as you stated, cookie cutter way of doing business, and it doesn't work. Just because it worked for this person, it does not, and we have to understand that. And you have sat here and helped break limiting beliefs, help unlock potential. You have spoken, you know, and articulated so well that a child could understand, you know. And I'm so proud, I'm so excited about this conversation that we're having, because it goes on so many levels, because it frees you mentally, it frees you spiritually, it helps you, and I'm a holistic person. For those that don't know, I have a holistic, you know, coaching business. So this holistic approach to things, it works, because we often look at only one aspect of our life and fix that, and not seeing how everything flows together. And you were talking about everything flowing together, how this out of place affects your sleep in your bedroom over here, you know. And they said, because they said this is a bedroom here, you can repurpose things. There is nothing wrong with repurposing. You have control over how you want things to flow. Maybe, you know, you tell the designer what you want done. And as you stated, you know, if the room, oh, well, I thought I wanted the room over there, but I feel more comfortable over here for some reason, then you go sleep in the garage if the garage is the best place for you to make your bedroom or to make your office or whatever. You don't have to follow. You can think for yourself. And that's what has been taken away, you know, the ability to think. And that's what you're bringing back to your community and this community, the ability to think. Think for yourself.
Yeah.
Think what is the best approach for you? What is your I can? That's a personal thing, not someone else's. Don't allow the other person to write your story. Don't allow the other person to tell you, oh, because you learn this way, or everybody is learning the same way because you're in this class, and everybody I'm going to articulate it, or I'm going to put it out this way. You have so many people that have different learning ability. You have auditory, you have physical, those that have to you have so many, and sometimes people don't understand that because they have been programmed to think only one way, only one with one understanding, and one thought pattern. Yes, ma'am. Yes to the ma'am. You mentioned bridging the connection between physical environments and healing.
Mhm.
You could you elaborate on how creating a harmonious space, and you've been doing it. I mean, you have been on this, but even more, bringing a harmonious space contributes to an individual's overall healing journey, because you spoke about that early, your healing journey and your children's healing journey. And what transformations have you witnessed?
Yeah. It's the thing is with our physical space is when we're doing healing, we're very vulnerable. So we what can often happen is if we don't have a safe space, if it's safe physical space to be in, and that's on not just a physical level, but on an an energetic level, as we've been talking already, then we're going to be open to attracting things that are not going to support that healing journey, that are actually going to hinder it, that are actually going to make us feel worse. And that has happened to me personally. So I actually, me being here doing this is quite a huge thing because, well, it's coming up to 5 years ago now. When I was pregnant with my third daughter, I actually was so mentally unwell that I was unable to leave my home, and I was unable to speak for 3 weeks because I was struggling so much. And one of the impacts that I realized now that I can look back at was my physical environment. And actually, I became trapped by that, to the point where actually I couldn't leave that space because I was that space was having such a negative impact on me that it was actually keeping me there. It was restricting me from being able to go out and actually connect with the rest of the world. And that was because of the physical connections that I had allowed myself to have with that home that were not positive for me. They were not connections that were allowing me to spread my wings, that were allowing me to fully be who I was. And actually, not long after that, we did actually move out of that home, and it was much better because I was able to go into a fresh space and connect with it better. And there was a lot going on with that home that needed more work than I could give it at the time. But so my point is that when we don't have a safe environment, what can happen is that we will actually shut down. So to allow ourselves to feel safe, we will shut down inwardly. And particularly if we're trying to do any healing work, because healing work, we have to crack ourselves open, and that's where the vulnerability comes. So if we do that and we sense that it's not safe, we'll just shut back down again. And it's why people often have those breakdowns. It's why people often shut themselves away when they're trying to do healing work, and they find it too much. A lot of people give up on it because they're like, no, it's too scary. It's because you're not putting yourself in a safe space. I mean, when we look at just our basic needs are for safety and shelter and security. And if we're not creating that as a safe space, we're not going to be able to crack ourselves open and do that inner work. We're not going to be able to, get to the rawness of what it is that we need to let go of. We're not going to be able to be free to do that and step into shed that old skin and step into the new one, because we're not safe to do that, and we will know that deep inside, and we won't allow ourselves to do that. And if we do allow ourselves to do that, what happens is, negative energies get in. You were talking about demonic energies, that they will get in there, and once we've had that experience, those walls will be up within us, because it will be so awful to go through that we won't allow ourselves then to open ourselves up again and do that healing. But the way that we can, and the way that we can make our bodies, not just our physical bodies, but our spiritual bodies, feel safe enough to do that, is by creating physical spaces that are safe.